The Lost Library of Alexandria. Extension Alexandria Harbor, night, 48 BCE. The moon casts a silvery glow over the bustling harbor. Ships sway gently in the water, their sails slackened by the calm night breeze. In the distance, flickering torchlight illuminates the towering walls of the royal quarter. But there's something wrong. The city feels tense, uneasy. Soldiers patrol the streets, their armor clinking softly. Whispers drift through alleys as citizens exchange worried glances. Closer, we see smoke curling lazily into the sky. It smells faintly of charred wood and parchment, a harbinger of destruction. The Great Library of Alexandria, Main Hall, night. The camera pans across rows upon rows of scrolls stacked neatly on towering shelves. The library hums with quiet energy, though the air is thick with dread. Callista, a sharp-eyed young scholar with ink-stained fingers and a streak of determination, hurries down one aisle. Her sandals slap against the stone floor as she gathers scrolls into a leather satchel. Suddenly, the sound of loud footsteps echoes outside. Callista freezes, her breath catching. She peers toward the entrance, where shadows dance ominously. Callista, whispering to herself. Not yet. Not now. A figure emerges from the darkness, Leonidas, 50s, a grizzled librarian with a stooped back and weary eyes. He carries a lantern that casts jagged shadows across his face. Leonidas. Callista. What are you doing here? You should have left hours ago. Defensive. And let these burn? Every scroll holds centuries of wisdom. If we don't save them, who will? Leonidas sighs deeply, shaking his head. He steps closer, lowering his voice. Leonidas. You think this is just about books? Caesar's men aren't interested in knowledge, they're here for power. And they'll crush anyone standing in their way. Callista. Then we make sure they never find us. She slings the satchel over her shoulder and moves to leave, but Leonidas grabs her arm firmly. Leonidas. Listen to me. There's a reason I stayed behind tonight. Your father, he entrusted me with something before he disappeared. Something hidden within these walls. Callista stiffens, her expression darkening. Callista. My father? You knew him? Leonidas. Gravely. I did. And if what he left behind falls into the wrong hands, God's help us all. Flashback montage. Quick cuts show glimpses of Callista's childhood, a man with kind eyes teaching her how to read ancient scripts, a map spread out on a table covered in cryptic symbols, a heated argument between her parents before her father vanishes without explanation. Back to present. Callista stares at Leonidas, betrayal flashing in her eyes. Callista, why didn't you tell me sooner? Leonidas, because knowing too much can be dangerous. But now time has run out. Suddenly, the distant sound of shouting erupts outside. Torches flare brighter beyond the windows, accompanied by the unmistakable clang of swords being drawn. Callista. Urgent. They're coming. Leonidas nods grimly, pulling a small brass key from around his neck. He presses it into Callista's palm. Leonidas. Find the chamber beneath the astrolabe. Everything you need to know is inside, but trust no one. Not even those who claim to stand with you. Before Callista can respond, the massive wooden doors burst open. Roman soldiers storm in, led by a brutish centurion wielding a flaming torch. Centurion. Search every corner. Leave nothing untouched. Callista ducks behind a shelf, clutching the key tightly. Leonidas steps forward, raising his hands in surrender. Leonidas, please. These texts hold the secrets of civilizations past. Destroying them would be a crime against history itself. The centurion sneers, tossing his torch onto a nearby pile of scrolls. Flames ignite instantly, licking hungrily at the dry parchment. Centurion history ends today. As chaos erupts around her, Callista slips away unnoticed, disappearing into the labyrinthine corridors of the library. Secret passageway, moments later. Callista navigates dimly lit tunnels carved into the bedrock beneath the library. The walls are lined with faded hieroglyphics and strange carvings that seem almost alive in the flickering light of her oil lamp. Her footsteps echo eerily as she approaches a heavy iron door engraved with celestial patterns. She inserts the brass key into the lock, turning it slowly. With a click, the door creaks open, revealing a hidden chamber filled with artifacts, ancient scrolls, golden tablets, and a glowing crystal orb resting atop a pedestal. Callista hesitates, sensing that whatever lies ahead will change everything she thought she knew. Callista. To herself. What have you gotten yourself into, father? Suddenly, a shadow moves across the wall behind her. Someone else is in the chamber. To be continued.